Intro, by the way. What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Facebook
As he finishes
and
his
Twitter and YouTube and Twitch. Let's see if we can piss James off again today. What do you guys
Let's
think?
see.
Thank you for listening to the Business Bros Podcast. Are you
Oops, error.
Shut up and sit down.
Business Bros is your show, where small business professionals just like you come to tell their stories. This podcast is for those who understand the number one rule in business, which is to be of service to others. Learn how today's professionals generate leads, what's working on social media, what's hot and what's not, straight from the mouths of those who are out there doing the real work. And now let's welcome your hosts, Hernan CS, the real estate bro with eXp Realty, the cloud-based brokerage where top producers reign, and James CS, the insurance bro with Pipeline Insurance, making sure you are covered because there's a lot riding out there. And now here are the Business Bros.
And now here are the Business Bros.
So we got our new intro. The recording
Ready to
came in
launch
today,
tomorrow?
so I gotta mix in the video clips, and then we'll have the new intro ready to rock and roll. New intro, new outro, a little shorter, so we can get down to business real quick.
Yeah,
All right,
because
ladies and
we've been
gents.
sitting here for a whole minute and a half. People are bored already. Come on.
I know, dude. I know. All right, ladies and gents, look, I'm going to drop a link here in the comments.
Dropping
this
the
is
link.
your opportunity to chime in today's show. So I posted it on the Facebook earlier today. We're opening this up to you guys. So if you guys have any questions, any comments, anything you want to talk about, feel free to either comment and we'll feature that comment, talk about it. Or if you have the ability, click on the link. You'll go into our lobby here and then we'll bring you on to ask that question. So this is your challenge.
A lot of potential for aggressive expansion. So which of you fine gentlemen would like to join our team?
That's what it's all about, right? I'm going to be using these video clips, dude.
I love
got
it.
some
I love
clips
it.
in
But
today.
are you asking people to join the team? What's
I'm
happening
asking
here?
people to join the team. Click on the link and join the team. And have some fun.
Oh,
Oh, dude, I got some cool stuff.
that intro is pretty fire, he says.
The intro is pretty fire. I mean, it's some fun stuff. Just wait to see some more stuff coming up in the Twitter sphere here soon. So, anyways, I got the meme thing going on, ladies and gents.
The meme thing.
I've been talking. Well, it's not quite meme thing. I took video clips because we are big movie buffs, and I realized that the movies that we watch tend to be old school movies. Now, all of a sudden, they turned old school. But anyways,
You ever watch
right?
that old movie, Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah. So, I've been doing a lot of talking online and on social media and trying to get people to really amp up their video game, right? Not their video gaming, their video ability, right?
Oh, okay.
Streaming
I gotcha.
live online to help create funner, more engaging content. So one of the things that I've been talking about a lot is using StreamYard. StreamYard, this is the platform that we're using. So if you see other people that are streaming and it doesn't look like Zoom and you're like, how did they get those images on there? How did they get that background on there? How did they do this or that? It's because they're using a different platform. The one we're using is called StreamYard. And so one of the things I wanted to do was kind of show you guys some of the cool stuff that we can do. So, what are some of the things that we can do?
What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what?
Like what? Like that.
Say what again?
Say what again, right? So we're going to be dropping some stuff like that and just to make the show a little more entertaining, right? And
I'm like, is that allowed?
basically, I don't know if it's allowed, but we're doing it. So we'll see what
Until we
happens.
get the cease and desist.
Yeah, till the FCC starts regulating podcast shows.
Yeah.
Then we're in trouble. So anyways, so I got a couple clips. I didn't get too many. I just got a few here that we'll drop in every now and again. And I want to make sure we address some of those questions that came in on the Facebook. So let's start off with those. Boom, 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 boom. So
We
let's
got some
start here.
questions from the Facebook?
We got some questions on the Facebook. You ready?
Oh.
I am, and let's see. I'm gonna copy this one here, and I'm bring it over and highlight it on the show here. So this one came in from Mr. Kevin, right? It's already
entertaining. So
entertaining. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's hard for me to speak it.
It's
to
already
read it.
entertaining.
It's all red entertaining. All right, first question. So what about the different strategies for offline marketing for your brand or business? Offline stuff, dude. So
Offline marketing.
offline marketing.
Got some good stuff there.
Yeah, well, to me, this is the guerrilla tactics of getting out there and talking to people. I'll tell you a story. This is the story of our very first business ever, and I can tell you because the marketing not very first business ever, very first actual corporation that we built ever.
Oh, okay.
So this was a computer repair company, right?
PCK.
And the reason why we started that is because James here decided it would be a good idea to take his Sunshine, or it was a Cox Communications subcontractor job.
Yeah, Sunshine
And
Communications.
Yeah, I didn't know for sure. And so he took his truck out there in Proctor Valley Road, also known now as Eastlake, but back then there was nothing out there. And he decided to do donuts and rolled his truck and got fired. Right? So we had a mortgage.
Long story
pay.
short.
Yeah, we had a mortgage to pay. And so at the time, he was doing things like installing high-speed internet and fixing computers. And the way we started our business, and this is one of those things, is every morning, the goal was simple.
Yeah.
We need to make some money so that we can pay our mortgage. Let's continue to fix computers and install high-speed internet. So we made these hand-printed flyers, right? They weren't very good. They were just flyers with our number. Hey, your computer broken? Call us. It was pretty simple. And I strapped on my rollerblades every morning, and we would literally go around the
we're
neighborhood.
90s kids.
Yeah, that's how you know. And so we'd literally go around. We'd pick a segment in the neighborhood, and we'd be like, okay, cool. We'll hit up every single house, and we dropped off our flyers. And it was literally, and that's how we literally started, and it worked. And then we got a little bit fancier. Instead of using hand printed flyers, we used door hangers. Because we were like, it's hard to put these flyers laying around everywhere. So we put door hangers.
And we couldn't leave them in the mailbox because we know that's illegal.
That's illegal. And then we got even crazier, and we're like, you know what? This was Dad's idea, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, you give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, this is Dad's idea, by the way. He's like, why don't you put a sticker on that door hanger so that people can throw away the marketing material, but throw the sticker on their computer, and then they'll call you when they need you. And that took us to the next level. Right. So now every morning we would get up and we'd pound the pavement. And this is one of those things that, everybody's going to try to give you that easy, secret, super quick, fast, get rich fast type scheme. It's not. It wasn't. And nothing that I've ever done that has been successful has ever come at the cost of an easy button. It's always something where you pound the pavement, where you get out there and do it. But
I'm trying to create the easy button now, but
Yeah, trying to simplify processes for people, but it still requires that you get out and meet people, however it is that you're going to do it. So for me, the offline marketing is one of those hard work things. Even the online marketing, like this podcast, this daily thing that we put out on a regular basis is work. It takes effort. It doesn't just go away, and it. I mean,
we're not on rollerblades going door to door, dropping off door hangers, but we're still here for, well, at this point it's 30 to 45 minutes every day. Now that we're on Zoom calls, but when it was in person, when people were going to the studio, I mean, it's, a ride to get there, and then some time to get to know the person who's there and write up the little intro real quick, and all of these things, and then the interview itself tends to last a little bit longer, I think, than when we're on Zoom. I feel like when we're on Zoom, it's a lot easier to just kind of keep an eye on the clock, and then afterwards, after the interview is over, there's always some residual conversations of, oh man, that was awesome, and like that conversation just keeps going for a while. So it's still time. We're not on our rollerblades, we're not dropping those door hangers off, but we're still spending the time.
It's still, and here's the thing about when you do something like this platform, what this has done for our business is it's not generated anything new in the business. Oh, well, I can't say that. It has generated some stuff, but the majority of what it's done is it's allowed us to meet more people. It's a prospecting tool. It's a relationship building platform. And so, the hardest thing in business is always meeting your ideal client, meeting people that you want to work with and you want to do business with, and you establish a relationship and go forward. What this platform has done for us is it has allowed us to meet new people every single day, to learn from what they're doing, to promote what they're doing, and establish that relationship. The offline marketing happens once we've done the show. That's just the initial introduction of our relationship. The offline part is how you nurture that relationship afterwards. Do we send emails? Do we pick up the phone? Do we send DMs? Do we send referrals? That is where the relationship really enriches, and that's where you're building your brand or business afterwards. This medium, this online strategy is just the initial contact part.
Yeah, no, it's true. So I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper into the offline marketing, and this is something that I've been learning over the years. So I think a lot of it is really dependent on your particular industry, but those of us in the financial industry can all pretty much lean on each other, right? Everybody's heard of the BNI and what are some of the other ones? Some of those other network marketing groups that you know of?
Not network marketing groups. They're network groups.
Network groups.
Yeah, I don't remember the names of them all off.
Anyway,
it's like a French word.
Anyway, so you all know about these, and you go to these meetings, and there's one person who's an insurance agent, one person who's a real estate agent, one person who's a lender, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's cool. You can definitely get a lot of business from those. But what I've been learning from our sales coach, Suzanne Romo, if anybody wants to check her out, Suzanne Romo at yahoo.com, I'm sure she'd be happy to hear from you and teach you some of these awesome strategies. But she teaches what she calls synergistic networking. And so that's taking, instead of considering the end user of your project of your product as your client. In other words, the people that buy insurance from me aren't necessarily my client. My clients are really my networking partners. All of the people that have customers that need insurance that can send those referrals to me. Those are the relationships that I need to nurture. Those are the people that I need to go and leave a candy jar with my name on it. Those are the people that I need to talk to make sure that they know I'm there, that when they have somebody who says, hey, I need to look for new insurance, I'm the first person that person thinks of.
And that's the crucial key. Most people don't really have a lead generation problem. They have enough leads. They have enough contacts. You've met people in your industry. You have email addresses. You have phone numbers. Your contact list on your phone is probably full up with people that you've met, that you've made contact with. What most people in business, me included, the biggest problem that we have is not lead generation. It's follow-up. It's continuing that relationship afterward and being of service to other people to bring them something of value, and at the same time nurturing that ability for you to bring them something.
That's the real offline marketing. That's the real offline marketing. Isn't so much the lead generation; it's the follow up and the nurturing of the relationship.
If you do the follow-up, I guarantee that if you were to follow up on every single one of your contacts on a regular basis, something as simple as, hey, we're going to have a barbecue this weekend. I was interested if you wanted to come hang out. You'd be surprised, first of all, how many more friends you'd have, how many more relationships you have, and how many more referrals you get on business. You'd be winning.
Got your victory dance? Well, I got it right here. Yeah.
I love doing those clips, dude.
Winning.
But that's what it's about. It's in the follow-up. Is if you're doing the follow-up on a regular basis, you're gonna win. But people don't do the follow-up. We don't do the follow-up. We expect that now that here's how the scenario usually works, right? I meet somebody, we meet, we talk, it's really cool. I think they are really great individuals. We go our separate ways, and I think because I thought they were cool, they're going to call me at some point in the future.
Right.
I have this assumption that because I have the podcast, or I have the expertise in my field, or because I have whatever, that person is going to turn around and remember me, A, right? Number one, that they're going to remember me, and B, that they're going to want to call me or think of me when they come across a problem. We have that assumption in our head, and we got to get out of that. Realize that if you're the one, if you forget who you're going to work with, if you're always forgetting, like, oh man, I need a landscaper, and you didn't even look in your contacts to see if you had a landscaper on there, like, you
just went straight to Google.
You went straight to Google, or you went straight to your friends. Think about that. If you're doing that, they're going to forget about you too. So you got to make sure that you're constantly being top of mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like this whole thing about the podcast. And that's why I like having social media out there, because they're constantly seeing us, and then they think about us more often. It's a way to continue the follow-up. It's a way to continue the touch, but it's much better if you reach out on a DM. It's much better if you reach out on a text message, on a phone, whatever it's going to be, but you got to reach out. If you do that, that's how you're going to win. All right, next question. You ready?
Let's do it.
How do you think the economy or the real estate markets will be in the first quarter of 2021 after being shut down for so long? Ooh. So my personal opinion, I don't have a crystal ball. Yeah, I don't have a crystal ball. But in my own personal opinion, this is going to be something where the recovery is going to be at least 2 to 3 years out. There's going to be a long stretch of things that are going to happen. Right now, you keep hearing things like cities are opening up, even though I just read today that in the LA Times that LA County is going to have that stay-at-home order through July. That's kind of long. Yeah, that sucks. But so things are going to change. Things are going to be here longer than we think. Even though you might have cities that are opening up, even though you might have places that are saying, you can open dining halls a little more, make sure you wear your mask and keep social distancing rules. Things aren't going back to anything that we consider to be normal. And so you're barely seeing things get underway. Things like the forbearance on the real estate, on the mortgages. That's just the beginning cusp. Like people are starting to really see some of these fine prints in these things. And so, like, if you go into forbearance, you're also limiting your ability to refi. You're going to start eventually at some point, you're going to have to pay this back. Yeah, you have to go into default to be going into forbearance. That's kind of one of those rules. And then when you go to refi, you have a default, or you have a missed payment, whatever it is. There's certain things happening in the market that we're just not knowing how these things are going to handle out. And here's the other thing.
I was thinking that there wasn't much of an effect, and I'm sure most people are thinking the same thing as me, that there wasn't that much of an effect. That it's like, okay, they're giving you the option to skip these 2 months of payments and then just tack it onto the back end.
Yeah, well, not so much. Fine print is fine print, right? And so here's what's my scenario. Here's what I think is going to happen. After we hit these next 3 to 6 months in forbearance, you're going to start seeing people go into default. We have way too many. I think the last number I saw, and it's probably higher by now, it's like 22 million people unemployed. So you're going to have people not being able to pay, not being able to find jobs, because on the flip side, where people were let go of their jobs, chances are those jobs are never going to come back. There are a lot of companies who are modifying the way they do things, and because they're going to modify how they run and operate their business, it's going to be much slimmer, much more fine-tuned, and so those jobs aren't going to come back. People are going to need to retool themselves, re-educate themselves, so they're not going to have that income. You're going to start seeing things like defaults. You're going to start seeing things like the foreclosure market start going off. You're going to see banks with liquidity issues, and so they're going to pull back lending criteria. All these things are going to happen. By the time we start seeing a downward market, I think in first quarter of 2021 is when you're going to hear a full-on real estate market is in the tank. Like, this is where, foreclosures are going to start to kick up. And I think it's actually going to be maybe third quarter of 2021, maybe fourth quarter of 2021, where you should have a lot of cash on hand, because that's going to be one of those buying frenzies. This is where the banks are going to start pulling back some of these properties. You're going to have a lot of REOs. If you're in the real estate industry, you should be working on BPOs right now. These are broker price opinions, and those will get you in contact with a lot of the people who are going to be issuing out REOs, which is real estate owned property. So if you're a real estate agent, it's the time right now for you to start shifting. Stop putting your head in the sand and thinking that the market's going to pivot and come straight back and you're going to be okay. Learn what to do in a down market. Learn how to work with sellers in a down market. Learn how to negotiate for your commission in a down market. It's going to be a different ball game. And if you don't have the skill set and the tools, you're going to let your license lapse, and you're going to be like everybody else who had a license in 2004 but didn't have it in 2008 anymore, because the market is going to shift. It's not going to be as easy as putting a sign in the front yard and everything's going to go smoothly. You're going to have to work a little bit differently. So that's
for what it's worth. If you're looking for a different license at that time, give us a call. Pipeline Insurance. Be happy to teach you the insurance ropes, and you can always get your license over at the micro schools.
Yeah. Exactly.
Always going to be looking for a new source of income. So
yeah.
Insurance is going to be there.
That's one of those things where, for those of you who do not have multiple licenses, having multiple licenses, in my opinion, has been one of the awesome things in the professional space, because you can pivot, because you can essentially refer something to somebody and get paid for it. So in the insurance space, like if you're working with if you're in the mortgage space right now and it's hot for refis, you should have a secondary license. You should have an insurance license, and you should be recommending the homeowner policy. You should be able to provide your clients with an option. You can't force them to take it, but you can provide them an option for that homeowner's policy. If they decide to go with you, since they're already working with you on the mortgage anyways, then you start building a residual book of business on the insurance side.
Right.
And that's going to help offset when this market shifts and you're looking for new customers. Same thing if you have a real estate license. You have all these clients that you're working with. You should be offering them the different insurance policies. And here's the thing. The way we've structured our company, you don't even have to do the work. You refer us the work and we'll split it with you. We'll cut you a check, but we can only pay you if you have a license. So right now is the time when you should be thinking about how you're going to offset your income, or you're going to 100% double down on what you're doing, and you're going to learn new methods of earning income in that industry, because it's shifting, it's changing. And if you don't change, if you don't modify what you're doing, you're going to struggle. So what did Paulina say here? It's time to reconsider those retirement funds and hopefully get intact with an agent that can help relocate those 401k funds in the right pockets.
Yep. And I was actually going to talk about that when it comes to being a lender, when it comes to being a real estate agent. When you're doing all these things, you're helping people to invest in their most valuable asset, right? And their number one asset, more than likely. And so Paulina's talking about protecting the person paying that mortgage. So great job. You did an awesome job in helping them fulfill one of their dreams. Now get that extra license and help them protect it.
Because that's a big look. We're dealing with a situation, COVID, that, it could get worse before it gets better. We don't know if winter comes winter is coming. See, I could have had that plug right there too. But you don't know what's going to happen. And so we're dealing with mortality rates and mortality issues and dealing with life. And we even without COVID, we were in a situation where we had baby boomers aging out and going into retirement, tens of thousands a day. So the fact that somebody could pass away and that asset, that home, still has a mortgage on it without that secondary income, that's a problem. So you have the ability, if you have that dual license, you have the ability to not only provide them the protection, but sit down and actually have that conversation with the client and provide them that full overview of what they need. And then when you need help servicing these particular things, that's when you call Pipeline Insurance. That's when you appoint with us so that we can help you handle all the insurance side. And all you're doing is nurturing that relationship with your client and providing them the value that you need. And as far as relocating 401k funds, I mean, right now there's a huge dips. We have huge dips in the market, right? And so 401k funds, IRAs are normally invested in the market. You have the risk of loss when you have them in the market. And when everything's going good, like it was for the last like 12 years, nobody thinks of the downside of the risk. But when we turn around, when the market flips the other way, and now you're looking at your 401k or your IRA, your portfolio, and it's losing 5, 10, 15%, if you're 30 years old, 40 years old, not a big deal. You got time. It's going to come back over time. It normally does. But if you're 65 and you're dependent on that 401k to pay for your living expenses, and it takes a 10 or 20% hit, those can be detrimental to your portfolio. So, sitting down and talking with a financial advisor and having a strategy, a plan in place where you have some stuff invested in the market, but you have some stuff in an insurance product, like it could be anything, a fixed index annuity, a index universal life product, something that is tied to the market, but where you won't lose when the market goes down. And having a balance in your portfolio is a good stepping stone as you get older in age. So sitting down, I'm just going to
throw a couple names out here. Friends of the podcast: Invictus Advisors, Driven Wealth Management. Those are two off the top of my head. Anybody else you can think of?
Yeah, and Jesse Lipscomb,
of course.
And so, and these people are all, in that space, either registered investment advisors, or they have their series license or their life licenses. And these are the types of things that, again, you just need to start discussing as you get a little bit older. So you're in the situation where you're not, stuck, right? Where you're not worried about what's going to happen, how it's going to happen. Don't get stuck. That's the scariest thing. That's the only thing that if you took all these years to save, to do what you were supposed to do, and it just happened to be a bad timing, just because you happen to get to retirement age right before COVID hit, who would have known, right? That's where you need to make a plan. That's where a plan is effective. All right. The next question we had was how do you rebuild yourself after this? How do you structure after this? That's a really good question.
I mean, I think it's a matter of getting out there and starting now. One of the things that we've been talking about since forever is the multiple streams of income. Mm-hmm. We were just talking about having multiple licenses. It's all about having the education, going out there, finding different ways, bunch of different side hustles, whatever it is. How do you rebuild yourself after this? I mean, it depends on what you need to rebuild. We've had, I can't think of his name, but we had somebody who does credit repair on the show. So if you need help with your credit, go back, do a search for Business Bros Pod credit repair. There's somebody who's been on the show that can help you rebuild your credit if that's suffering after this. We've had a bunch of entrepreneurs on the show to help you figure out how to get started in all kinds of different businesses. And again, shout out to our financial advisor groups. These are people that can help you put things together today to help you, set yourself up for success later on down the line.
I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
I love those lines, dude. but that's, having a plan and taking advantage of the time you have, that's super important. Like right now, on the one sense, I've spent so much time with my family. On the other side, I've taken the time to really set myself up to have an additional revenue stream coming out of this thing. Mm-hmm. Coming out of COVID, I have an ebook. I have a much better structured platform. Mm-hmm. I've built a network of people that are in the podcast space looking to grow that space. That's why, you see our Facebook group here at the bottom, Podcast Like a Pro. We're creating a multi-tier platform for people who are interested in starting their podcast, everything from beginning to full-on mentoring and coaching, like everything that is going to happen that I'm launching here in the next week or so has come about through the time that I've had in COVID. And so how do you rebuild yourself after this? Well, you need to realize where you are today. Realize the situation that you're currently at. If you find yourself in a hole, the first thing you need to do is stop digging and
Start digging up.
And start digging up, right? No, stop digging in that hole. Stop spending that credit card money. Stop, living that fancier lifestyle when everything was good. Start to reassess where you are today, and then start to decide where you want to be. Not having a clear vision of the future, not knowing exactly where you're going, you're going to wander around, because that's what we do as humans. We're aimless and we just kind of float, like a fart in the wind, just whoosh, wherever it goes, right? But if you have a clear destination, a clear path, whatever it's going to be, maybe it's time for you to change careers. Maybe it's time for you to get that little bit of advanced education to elevate yourself in your career. Maybe it's time for you to start that business that you've been wanting to start. Whatever it is, it's the way you rebuild is by taking that first step today, is by taking that action absolutely today.
And can we just say, see us first?
See us first.
See us first. Honestly, if you guys have any questions about that, want to get started on anything, we have a ton of resources, a huge network that we built through this podcast. We can definitely point you in the right direction if we're not helping you ourselves.
That's exactly right. Reach out. Look, at Insurance Broham for James, at Business Bros Pod for me. You can find us on any of our social media platforms. You can send us an email, hernan@csfirst.com or james@csfirst.com, and literally just reach out with a question, and even if we can't answer the question, I will definitely point you in the direction of somebody who can help. We've had over 250 plus guests on the show in multiple different industries. So we have a vast network of people. If you don't want to talk to
restaurants, crafts, lawyers, real estate agents, lenders, financial advisors, just a few off the top of my head, all kinds of people, authors.
So when it comes
to write a book, we'll help you out.
When it comes to business, just think of us as the Google. Start here, see us first, and then we'll point you in a direction, give you some ideas, coach you up a little bit. We're always open for a couple of 15-minute discovery call. I like how Melina calls it a discovery call. Yeah, and nice. get you thinking about what it is that you want to do. At least give you some clarity, some vision, so you guys can move forward.
Why so serious?
Why so serious?
You
were just waiting for me to get upset about something and be like,
I was gonna have that, dude. I was waiting for you to get all pissed off and like yell at me again. And I was just gonna drop the why so serious.
You didn't make me want to punch a Nazi today.
No. That's all right. All right, ladies and gents. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you guys for all your questions. It makes it go so much smoother.
For the record, Nazis always deserve punching.
That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And we're out.
Thank you for listening to the Business Bros Podcast. Are you interested in being on the show? Are you looking to sell your home or have a business that needs insurance? Reach out to the Business Bros via email, businessbros@seeusfirst.com right now, or click on the link in the show notes. Thank you for listening. And remember to subscribe and share the podcast with the business professionals who you think would benefit from the show.